Alright, so here we are in Nuke and we're gonna do our final compositing. So let's go ahead and bring our renders. So I'm gonna take my snake lava render, which is my mesh and my ground. I'm gonna go grab my smoke and my embers. Here we go. So let's now merge everything and let's take a look at our raw renders. Here we go. So looking nice. The first thing that I'm seeing straight up is basically, I would say everything after the frame like 80 is not really working. The mesh is coming way too close to the camera. We can see all the weird texturing, and we even go inside the mesh. So yeah, not really worth working on. So let's choose 80 as our last frame. Even if that's not something you want to do in production job, because you get a frame range and you have to stick to it. So yeah, I probably use some kind of blur to hide everything, or even going back into Houdini and make a different sim for that part. But yeah, let's bring now a constant. So it's gonna be HD 720p, and we're gonna put some gray, and we're gonna use this as a background color. So let's just merge, and here we go. Alright, so let's bring some color correction into this. Let's start with the smoke because we're losing everything. So let's bring a color correct and let's put the gain to 2.5. Here we go, so we're getting back a lot of details. Let's increase the gamma 1.1. Here we go. And let's do the same for the embers. Let's first desaturate our smoke a little bit. Let's drop color correct for our embers. And we're gonna go like crazy 10 because we want burning stuff. Let's also drop another one for color, so we're gonna put some orange particle fire. And let's also bring a glow. Yeah, so we're gonna set this, yeah, low tolerance, a little bit of brightness, and a small size, like let's put 4. So yeah, very shiny little particle. And let's hit play again. Alright, so let's now bring some depth of field blur to our shot. And this is the kind of shot where it's gonna work well because we got a main object coming from the background to the foreground, moving a lot into the Z axis. So yeah, let's go ahead and bring a Z defocus. Alright, so we can see our blur. So let's switch the matte to depth and let's put our focal point on our lava and let's use the focal plane setup so we can see what we're doing. Alright, so let's put the focus plane to 16 and the depth of field to 0.5. Here we go, so we get our geo clear of the blur. So let's put back to results and let's bring the size to 10. Here we go, so now let's keyframe our focus plane. So we're gonna go set keyframe at 30. Let's jump to 47 and let's go look for the head of the snake. So let's bring the focal point here and it's gonna drop a keyframe. So let's put this to 9 and let's go jump to frame, let's say 70, yeah, 72 And again, let's put 5, so it's gonna look over there, and keyframe here. Here we go. So now we have an animated depth of field blur, which is gonna make it look like the camera is trying to focus on the head of the snake. So let's bring a glow, which this one gonna be like a generic glow, so it's gonna cover everything. So we're gonna put a very high tolerance, very low brightness, 0.38, and a crazy size, like let's put 200. Here we go. So we get like global illumination glow. Here we go. So now let's make sure our ZD focus is also applied to the embers. So we're gonna clone this one, so Alt K, and we're gonna put this one on our embers, and here we go. We can see it's effective. Yeah. Let's go to this frame, and yeah, we can see depth fields working nice. Alright, so let's just see what we get now. Okay, so start to look good. Alright, so let's now trying to create some kind of haze distortion effect. So let's first bring a noise, which I'm gonna connect to my comp. Then I'm gonna set this to RGBA, so I'm losing the background. And let's decrease the size, so let's put 45. Let's reduce the gain to 0.1 and the gamma to 0.9. Here we go. So now let's keyframe the Z attribute so we can get some animation. So let's go to frame 1, set key, and the last frame 80. Let's put 15. Here we go. So we get our distortion noise. So let's now bring a copy, which we're gonna go in our comp, and we're gonna go into the noise, grab the red pass, and again red, and we're gonna feed this into the forward. So forward U and forward V. Here we go. So let's bring now a I distort node, which we're gonna use to make our distortion. Let's go to frame 35, interesting one. And let's choose in UV channel our forward pass, where we get our noise, and let's increase the UV scale so we can see our distortion happening. So you can reduce the noise the way you want it. Yeah. So right now the problem is the noises apply pretty much everywhere, and I just want it to be around my lava. So what we're gonna do to fix this is we're gonna drop a shuffle channel, and we're gonna go get our emission pass. Here we go. And we're gonna use this as a mask for our distortion. So let's drop a color correct after noise, and we're gonna set the gain to 0. Here we go. And as a mask, we're gonna take that little thing, and we're gonna use our emission pass as a mask. So right now it's not working. It's because we have to go to range to say we don't want the alpha, we want the red, and here we go. We got our mask. So let's just invert this, and we have a good mask for our distortion. So let's blur a little bit our emission pass so we can relax everything and let the distortion happening more like kind of globally. And yeah, let's go look our distort. Here we go. So now we get distortion happening only where the lava is. So let's drastically reduce it. Let's put, yeah, I'm gonna go with 6 because I don't want to lose any detail like this. So yeah, I'm gonna go small value 6. Yeah, pretty good. Alright, so let's now bring some more dynamic to our shots by putting some camera shake. So I think I'm gonna go with 2 camera shakes, so one for the global shot, so not very strong, and I'm gonna use a second one for the end of the shot, I would say after frame 50, when the flip is coming really close to the camera, so this way we can feel the impact, the proximity of it. So yeah. So uh, before we're doing this, we just want to use, because we did a mask with our emission pass, but we could also use this one to get some kind of glow only on the emit um, lava areas. So let's put this to screen. Let's put like small value, yeah, 0.18. And yeah, so let's go back to our camera shake. So let's drop a camera shake. And this one's gonna be the global one, so I'm gonna put 20 in amplitude, so pretty small. And let's go for 0.1 in frequency. Here we go. So now let's deactivate our ZD focus and let's deactivate also the ID store, which are the nodes that take a lot of time to compute. So this way we can get almost real-time playback. And let's see what we get. All right, so yeah, a little bit more of dynamic, not very strong, but definitely helping. So let's bring another camera shake, and this time I'm gonna increase the frequency to 0.2, and I'm gonna keyframe at frame 50 the amplitude to 0 and jump to 80 and keyframe this like, let's say 50. Here we go. So let's see what we have now. Right, so working nice. We're definitely feeling the impact at the end, like proximity of the lava. So yeah, it's pretty good. So now let's try to bring some comp lighting into our shot. So let's reactivate set defocus and the ID start, and let's drop a rotor node, right? And we're gonna go full screen and we're gonna choose ellipse and we're gonna make a basic circle. Here we go. So let's just put this way, and I'm gonna go grab these 2 points in the top right corner and put them higher this way, and I'm gonna merge this to my comp. I'm gonna use, of course, the RGBA, so this way I get some white, and I'm gonna put the merge to overlay, and we get some kind of vignette effect that we're gonna blur, of course. So let's go let's go 100. And let's reduce the mix on the merge to say 0. Yeah, 55 is good. Here we go. Let's drop another roto, which this time gonna be a circle again, but we're gonna do kind of a sun in the top right corner. Here we go. Yeah, we're gonna merge this. We're gonna set this to RGBA and the merge, we're gonna set it to screen. Here we go. Let's blur this again and we're gonna go crazy value like let's put 300. Here we go. So we get some lighting comp. Let's reduce the merge to 0. Yeah, 3, 29. Yeah. So now you can see we get some light direction. Um, the problem being the merge overlay is kind of burning everything, so we're losing a lot of detail. So I'm gonna compensate this by using a color correct where I'm gonna desaturate everything. I'm gonna put a crazy contrast and I'm gonna decrease the gain very hard. So yeah, so we're getting kind of DC dark vibe, and I usually like to do it this way very strong, and then I'm going to range and reduce everything with the mix. Let's put 0.5. Let's now drop a grade, which I'm gonna use to level up those black little bits. Alright, maybe I can go crazy and use the mix again, 0.5 again. And here we go. Yeah, so we're getting back on our feet. And we can see I think we're improving a lot the final render with this. So usually what I like to get at the end of my comp is some grain node, which is gonna make everything looks more real, so I can see I got some grain in my alpha, so let's just uncheck apply only to alpha, and this way I have grain everywhere. Looks good, and the one I'm gonna choose is this one. I have no idea what it's supposed to match with, but I like this one because it's a small grain, very sharpy. So yeah, let's reduce it, reduce the blue a lot, and here we go. Alright, so here it is, our final comp. So it does look nice. I'm pretty happy with the ambers, distortion, the light comp. Yeah, it's look pretty good. So yeah, let's go back into our comp so we can see if we can improve some stuff. So for example, the smoke, which I think is losing a lot of detail, a lot of contrast. So if we go grab our alpha and we fit this into the RGB, let's put a color correct to reduce the gamma and to get more contrast. And let's merge this before the glow in our comp. Let's put the merge to screen and let's reduce it. And yeah, so we can see we're getting back more contrast in our smoke. Yeah, if we push the contrast. Yeah. Let's put some color on it, so some kind of orange, reddish, and yeah. So yeah, it's really up to you at that level. Um, yeah. Now, one last thing I'm going to want in my shot is to get some kind of 2D motion blur on top of everything. So I'm gonna go drop an optical flow, which I'm gonna put the output speed to 1, the shutter, so the shutter samples, I'm gonna go 10, which is a lot, and the shutter time gonna be 0.2. Let's plug this after the merge. And here we go, we can see some additional 2D motion blur. And what I like about this is it's happening after our comp, so it's kind of mixing everything together, giving the same direction to everything. So yeah, let's try to reduce it. Let's go 0. Oh, it's not really changing anything, so let's go back to 0.2. And here we are done.